Technology can be used for many purposes, but its primary aim is usually to make life easier or better for humans. The internet and mobile phones have made communication easier, for example. In a perfect future, technology will progress to the point where none of us need to work anymore, and we can all relax as robots and computers do all the hard labor for us. Here are a few inventions which are bringing that reality a little closer. If robotic customer service has a face, then that face is Pepper. Pepper is a robot designed to resemble a human and has been serving people in mobile phone stores in Japan since 2014. As the technology inside Pepper progresses, he's spreading out across the world. Pepper is so advanced that he can use facial scanning software to read emotions and uses microphones to pick up on people's tone of voice, adapting his performance and responses accordingly. Many companies have put Pepper units to work as receptionists and basic service providers. For example, there's a hotel in China where Pepper bots perform all the check-in and registration duties. They can engage in small talk with customers and handle room service orders too. The idea of having a Pepper bot in your home hasn't caught on in Europe or the USA just yet, but there are already over 1,000 Peppers in homes in Japan, providing everything from care assistance to companionship. If you live in or around New York City, you might already have come across an Amazon Go store. This is a convenience store with a difference. There are no cashiers. Thanks to the technology inside the store, all you need to do is go to the shop, pick up whatever you want, and leave. Shoppers are tracked around the store by computer software, cameras, and pressure sensors. So long as you have an Amazon account and an active credit or debit card, anything you take from the store is charged against your account. And so there's no need to queue up at a checkout or wait for anybody to scan your purchases. Amazon has spent years and millions of dollars perfecting this technology and the algorithms behind it, so it's clever enough to pick out individual shoppers when people arrive in groups, and also knows when people pick things up and put them down again if they've decided not to buy them. This is the fast, convenient shopping of the future. We know that Uber is currently well on their way to developing driverless taxis, using self-driving cars as their foundation. If they succeed, they won't be the first people in the world to do it. Driverless taxis are already a reality for citizens of Tokyo in Japan. These clever cars can change lanes, navigate intersections, and find their way around obstacles to get people from A to B. The vehicles are known as the Robo Car minivan, made by ZMP Inc., and they're loosely based on Toyota's Estima hybrid car. Right now, they're only in limited use, picking up and dropping off 3 or 4 passengers a day with their one robotic vehicle. A driver stays on board in case there's a problem, and the car is confined to a 3-mile area. By the time of the Tokyo Olympics in 2020, the operators hope that many more cars will be in service, and the human component will no longer be necessary. Waiting around all day for a delivery driver to turn up with your package is annoying, so we're really looking forward to DHL's Parcel Copter becoming available everywhere. The delivery drones were trialed 2 years ago in the Alps, making over 100 deliveries to 2 villages in the area, close to a DHL depot. The villages in question are half an hour apart by road, but only 8 minutes with an automated helicopter flying through the sky at 45 miles per hour. All anyone sending a package has to do is put it in a box at a DHL skyport, enter their code, and let the drones come and do their thing. Amazon is currently trying to make drones which can deliver directly to your door, but by opening approved pickup points, DHL hopes to beat them to the punch. If you could order something online and then go and pick it up an hour later from a skyport close to your home, would you rather do that than wait around at home for a vague delivery time the following day? For a lot of people, the first job they ever had was as a waiter or waitress at a bar or restaurant. That profession might soon go the way of the dodo thanks to Penny, the food service robot made by Bear Robotics. You'll find Penny in service at the Gangnam Tofu House in Milpitas, California, among several other places. Penny is the work of John Ha, who was a senior engineer at Google before launching his robotics firm. The robot's job is simple. It glides between tables, using sensors to avoid banging into tables or people, and it delivers food. It can also come and clean up your table after you're done, so long as you don't mind loading your dirty plates onto it yourself. Right now, Penny just does the delivery work, because a human waiter is still needed to take orders from customers. But John plans to include a microphone and voice recognition software soon, which would mean they can also handle order taking and relay the data back to the kitchen. We have bad news for models. You might soon be out of work because of holograms. The world's highest paid models can only be in one place at one time. So, if you have a catwalk running in Las Vegas and have booked a model to be there, that model can't also be working in Paris. There's no way to solve that issue without human cloning, but it is now possible to give the appearance of being in two places at the same time using holograms. Alexander McQueen was years ahead of his time in this front, using a holographic Kate Moss to show off a gown as long ago as 2006. Since then, Stefan Eckert and Burberry have also put holographs to use, and they're playing an increasingly large part in shows. That means you only have to perform a perfect catwalk routine once, and it can be recorded and projected elsewhere as many times as you like. Not everyone is in love with the idea. Some traditionalists believe you can't truly get an appreciation for clothes unless you see them in person. This might be the ultimate test of how far human beings are willing to trust robots. Would you allow one to cook a meal from you, from scratch? If so, Serenetti Kitchen has got the technology to make it happen. All you do is load it up with the ingredients, and it will handle the stressful part of putting it all together into delicious, perfectly cooked food. Although the current model contains the potential to perform many different cooking techniques, right now it's limited to stirring, while the company behind the innovator refines its processes. The stirring attachment could easily have a blender or a slicing implement added to it whenever they think it's ready. Serenetti are only a small company, consisting of 4 people, and so progress with the prototype is slow. But their existing model of the device, called Cookie, works flawlessly with the smartphone app. It can tell you what it can make using the ingredients it has access to. You choose something you like the look of, and it will send you an alert when it's done. It's just a shame it can't do the dishes for you, too. Crop dusting is a tedious agricultural task. We imagine it's fun to go up in a plane or a helicopter to do it the first few times, but after you've done it dozens of times, in bad weather, it probably gets on your nerves. That's why anyone who has to do it will be hoping for success from a collaborative project between Yamaha Motors and the University of California, which is aiming to make automated crop dusting an industry standard. Yamaha's R-Max remote control helicopter is the vehicle being used for the trials. It'll mean no humans are being exposed to the risks which come from flying so close to the ground, or being exposed to potentially dangerous agricultural chemicals. There's no reason why it shouldn't work. Semi-automated drones have been used as crop dusters in Japan since the late 1990s. Not only is the automatic process safer than using pilots, but it's also potentially more accurate. A robotic helicopter can work out the effect of weather conditions on the spread or spray of its equipment, and adjust accordingly to make sure a whole field gets covered. When IBM came up with the Watson supercomputer, its first purpose was to perform party tricks, like beating human beings at games like Jeopardy! Now, astonishingly, the software behind it is beating human doctors at diagnosing serious illnesses. IBM's specialized Watson Health software is being used in partnership with the Radiological Society of North America, who have allowed the computer the chance to access a series of X-ray records and make diagnoses based on what it can deduce from the image. As it's a computer, Watson is less likely to miss what's in front of it than a human eye. It zooms straight in on anything it perceives to be an anomaly and check what it sees against a database to find the most likely explanation. Even though they can arrive at an accurate diagnosis 20% faster than a human expert, With a greater degree of first-time accuracy, the Watson computer still needs human supervision to ensure clinical safety at present. When we grow to trust the machine, the humans can step aside. Sewing is a fun hobby for a lot of people, but it's less fun for the people who have to do it professionally, especially if they work in sweatshops. Technology might be about to consign that barbaric practice to the waste bin of history. Software Automation's Lowry line is a range of totally automated sewing robots, which are better than a sewing machine because they don't need a human assistant to feed fabric through them or transfer it. In fact, they barely need any human interaction at all. The company says that it's cheaper than labor costs, works faster, and has the advantage of not needing to stop for sleep or meals. As with any robotic solution, it also eliminates the risk of human error. The Lowry machines can give you the exact same product to the same standard 1,000 times out of 1,000. It's also dynamic. It can handle making shoes just as easily as it can make a basic t-shirt or a pair of jeans. Of all the professions you might expect robots to struggle with, acting is probably close to the top of the list. The degree of nuance and emotional range required to act convincingly seems to be beyond the realms of robotic possibility at the moment. But it hasn't stopped somebody from trying. Welcome to the Robo Thespian, who has been delighting British audiences on stage in a show called Spillikin. This 5-foot 7-inch robot has been designed to move just like a human, react to gestures, facial expressions, and tone of voice, and generally mimic human behavior as closely as possible. In the play, the robot has been programmed with a preordained set of lines and moves, but the British-developed machine is capable of engaging in small talk independently if and when required. It's so sophisticated that it can even display facial expressions. It can express emotion even if it can't truly feel it. Isn't that what acting is all about? The company who made it hoped that businesses might consider it for use as a host or a customer service assistant. If you've ever seen the movie RoboCop, you probably have an expectation of what a crime-fighting robot might look like. Chances are you probably didn't visualize it as a giant rolling egg. But that's exactly what we have with the Knightscope K5. This security robot, which looks like it might be a distant relative of R2-D2 from Star Wars, is decked out in hundreds of sensors, which allow it to monitor events around it. The Knightscope, which is 5 feet tall and weighs 300 pounds, is capable of streaming 360 degrees of HD resolution video to the nearest law enforcement agency, detect dangerous chemicals in the air, and even conduct thermal imaging surveys to identify where criminals might be hiding. With all these abilities, it can patrol the streets and immediately alert the real police to arrive ASAP if it feels something is wrong. It can't arrest or apprehend you yet, but we're sure that's just a case of fitting arms to the next version and teaching it how to read people their rights. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and enjoy watching new videos on my channel. Thanks for watching, and see you soon!